And you're listening to A Daily Dose of Hope, healthy stuff so you can keep on trucking with Hope Savara and Chrome and Steel Radio.
Hello, everybody. Hope Savara here with your Daily Dose of Hope, healthy stuff so you can keep on trucking. How are you? I hope you're having a great day. If you are watching this on video, drop me a hey in the comment section. Hope you're doing well. I am actually at my house today. For those of you that are watching video, that's why this like weird unfinished drywall is behind me. So, this is my real life, you guys. I'm not trying to make it any more fancy than it already is. This is me. This is what you get. My husband's in construction. And so you get sometimes a little bit of a mess at my house, but hey, it's going to be beautiful one day, which kind of leads us into our topic. This is all about back pain today. So our episode is all about helping you feel better no matter what you do, where you do. For my truckers that are out here listening and tuning in, hello, how are you? I know that so many of you struggle with back pain on a daily basis, and it is because of your job. And on the same token, I know so many of you that work in the office also struggle with back pain, and it's because of your job. And my husband's in construction, and he struggles with back pain because of his job. So I think that we can all kind of create a conclusion that we need to move in different ways other than what our job provokes us to. And as someone that has now done a lot more sitting in front of a computer so that I can bring you guys great content just like this, I totally understand how doing the same thing over and over and over again, sitting a lot, sitting is the new smoking, can create a hell of amount of back pain. And it sucks. Over 80% of Americans have had or currently have back pain. So that means for you guys listening out there, the majority of you have struggled with back issues. And I am one of them. I have thrown my back out before. It sucks. It's awful. You just feel so exposed and so frozen and stuck in time because you can't do anything. But when your job relies on you and you're out on the road, you don't really have a choice. You have to deal with it. So I thought I would spend the episode today talking a little bit about back pain, because not only have I worked through back pain and have had back issues, but I work with dozens and hundreds of people that have had and currently have back pain. And here's the deal. I'm not going to candy coat it. You have to do more than what you're doing. And I know you probably don't want to hear that, but first things first, we need to move more as a society. As a society as a whole, we do not move enough. We don't. We do not move enough. And what we are moving is we go from a lot of nothing to extreme something, and there's nothing to bridge the gap in between. So when we wonder why our back went out, but we're like, but I'm running 5 miles every day, or I'm lifting at the gym, or I'm going to yoga 1 day a week. Sometimes even yoga classes can be really extreme, and it's unfortunate, but it is reality. We need something to bridge that gap. So we need to be the bridge for our own gap. So I want to say that again. We need to be the bridge for our own gap. How do we do that though? Well, first things first, I want to talk a little bit about what can cause back pain. So like I said, sitting is the new smoking. We need to move more, period. We need to move in different movement patterns. So I'm not just talking my husband always says, well, I move every single day. Well, the problem is you always hold the drill overhead with your right hand. You always carry the 2x4s over your left shoulder. You always bend over at this certain degree all the time. So even though he's moving a lot, he's doing the exact same patterns over and over and over again. And repetitive strain injuries are one of the number one reasons why people take sick leave, why people are out of work, is because of repetitive strain injuries. And that means you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and you're not doing anything else. So you need to change up your movement patterns, okay? Sitting is the new smoking. Get up off your hiney and move more. When you're talking on the phone, get up and walk around your office in a circle. If you're sitting in your rig and you're waiting for your load to get unloaded, or you're talking to your boss, march with your legs in place. Do a couple twists, do a couple shoulder rolls. The thing is, it's not rocket science. So don't worry and don't get caught up in your head that you have to have some magical plan. You have to have this elaborate list of things drawn out for you that you have to do this, this, and this in order to be successful, in order to move better. The thing is, you just need to move more, okay? So sitting is the new smoking, okay? You're sitting way too much. The average person sits from 8 to 10 hours minimum. And I think that's on the low end, you guys. I think that is on the low end, because if your job requires you to sit, but yet you sit in the car to work, you sit at lunch, you come home and sit at the dinner table, you sit and watch TV or read a book or knit or sew or listen to music or whatever, that's a lot of sitting, you guys, okay? So I think it's more than that. The second thing is, when we sit a really long time, our hip flexors lock up, our psoas locks up, our lower back locks up, and that lumbar dorsal fascia, the back belt, nature's back belt, gets really, really stiff and really, really thick. And once that gets really, really stiff and really, really thick, it's a really long process to start to get that more mobile. It's like taking clay from when you were a kid and deciding you want to play with it again. You dump that lump out on the counter and it doesn't want to move well, okay? So you got to move. You have to start moving more, so that your lower back, your hip flexors don't start giving you grief and start pinning you down. For women, so much of our menstrual cycle pain and discomfort can possibly be induced by a tight psoas, because the psoas lays over the uterus. What if that's your problem? What if that's the issue? You just need to move more, stretch the hip flexors more, and some of that pain will go away. What an easy remedy. What an easy solution to that nagging back pain every single month. Second thing we want to think about is our fascia. So if you know anything about fascia or fascia, call it whatever you want, I don't care, it's like the spider web. It's like the unitard, okay? We're all going to be on Dancing with the Stars now, our unitards. It's like a big, huge unitard that our entire body wears. And then underneath that unitard are bags and bags and bags and bags that hold our muscles and our bones and our organs all in place. Fascia is in our blood cells. It's in our eyes. It was with us at 2 weeks after conception. So everything is fascia. And the reality is, when fascia gets dehydrated, okay, most people in America are dehydrated, it gets really dry. It is like the idea of clay sitting out on the counter, okay? You need hydration. How do we hydrate fascia? Vitamin C, okay? Vitamin C, good protein. I'm not saying that you need to have 60 grams of protein a day, okay? When my friend Karen Urbanek comes on, she's gonna talk about healthy nutrition, and you do not need that much protein in the course of a day. Your body can't process that much. But that's for another day. And also, you just need water. That is 0.6 times your body weight in ounces, okay? Easy, half your body weight in ounces. You need to be drinking every single day, okay? Now, for my truck drivers out there, I know you're thinking to yourself, Hope, yeah, flipping right. There's no way that I can drink 100 ounces of water every single day. I can't stop that much. And I get it. Time is money when you're a truck driver. You got to get to point A to point B in so many miles and so many hours, and you got a timeline. So you have to be smart about it, okay? Drinking water within an hour before you get to your next stop so you can relieve yourself. Drinking water in the evening, drinking water in the morning right away. Get up a little earlier so then you can hydrate and go to use the bathroom. And then also making sure you're eating foods that have a good water content in them, so that you can just kind of boost that little bit extra, and a little bit goes a long way. So do the best that you can. So those are some things and some ways that you can hydrate your fascia. Another thing to think about is the type of nutrition that we're getting, okay? If you are a coffee drinker, if you're drinking high amounts of caffeine, you are dehydrating yourself, okay? I want to read you a little bit here from an excerpt from a blog post that I wrote. And so major dietary causes of back pain include excessive caffeine and alcohol, sugar, okay, all increase cortisol levels. So when our cortisol levels increase, our body's connective tissue ends up getting really aggravated and we have pain, okay? This always leads me back to the whole concept of we are what we eat, okay? We're also what we hear and what we think, but we as Americans have to start looking at our diet as being one of the number one reasons why we struggle with mental disorders, why our bodies are in physical pain, why we can't sleep, why we have all these things going on. A lot of it is diet. And yes, even some of it could be causing your back pain. Now, it might not be for everybody, but that's definitely something to look at. And maybe you're going to have a coming to Jesus moment here after this broadcast and go, oh my gosh, I drink 40 ounces of highly caffeinated coffee every single day. That could definitely be causing your back pain. That leads me to my next question mark for what could be causing back pain, and that is your kidneys. If your kidneys aren't flushing themselves on a regular basis, that back pain, because your kidneys are in your back, could be the reason why you're having back pain. It has nothing to do with muscle. It's all the fact that your kidneys aren't flushing themselves because you're not hydrated enough, because you're dehydrated, because you're not moving enough. Your organs are like sponges. You need to wring out the sponges, and you're not hydrated. Okay, so these are kind of all connected together in my mind. But pick one and think about working on it, and think about focusing on that a little bit. Okay, so after,
I get it. Who has time to work out anymore? Drive to and from class and then remember what you did to successfully replicate it at home? I found your solution. Mother Trucker Yoga. 3 to 5 minute, short, fun, and effective videos directly pinpointing all your aches and pains associated with long-term sitting and driving. With Mother Trucker Yoga, we get it. We want you to feel better wherever. Find more information at mothertruckeryoga.com. And you're listening to A Daily Dose of Hope with Hope Savara and Croman Steel Radio. Welcome back.
Okay, if you have back pain, you're not sleeping well, you have calf cramps, hip flexor pain, neck pain, this is where Mother Trucker Yoga comes in, okay? We are really trying to focus on easy 3 to 5 minute videos to help get you moving. It's not rocket science. You don't need to be a yogi. You don't need to be in yoga pants. You just need to be present and be willing to do the work, and I promise you are going to feel weird hair thing going on so much better. All right, thanks for tuning in. So we went over some causes of back pain. We talked about sitting being the new smoking, talked about dehydrated fascia, we talked about rising cortisol levels, and we talked about too much sitting, we talked about our connective tissue, we talked about our kidneys, and we talked about our hip flexors and our lumbar dorsal fascia, that back area just not being mobile enough. Okay, so those are just some reasons right off the top of my head, right off the bat, that would definitely be some reasons. And obviously, if you've had an injury, okay, you have a spinal fusion, you have scar tissue, all of these things come into play. Not to mention, you guys, everything is connected, okay? So if you are still following the mentality that you are parts, I go to the physical therapist and I rehab my shoulder, like your shoulder is not connected to anything else. I see it over and over and over again, and I've lived it in my own body, that so many of the issues people come into me with, in class, privates, whatever, are not the cause of that pain. I look at it like the victim and the persecutor, okay? So pardon this analogy, but it's gonna really hit home. If someone's holding a gun, who's screaming? The person with the gun or the person having the gun pointed at them? The person that has the gun pointing at them. My point is, the victim area screams. So we have to step back as people and go, okay, what's causing that problem? Because our body has a natural alarm system. Most of us don't listen until the loudest alarm goes off. the awooga, awooga, the sirens, the church bells, the whatever. And then we finally listen. And by that time, all we can hear is the victim screaming, not the person with the gun, not the thing that's causing the problem, not that tiny little twingy thing that you felt, or that weird tingling, or that slightly unevenness in your hamstrings that you felt 5 years ago, but you just kind of warded it off because you were too busy, or when you rolled your ankle, or when you pulled your hamstring and now you got some scar tissue underneath the sitting bone, and that's what's pulling down on your hip, causing back pain. So the idea that we're all connected, we're not just parts. So we sometimes have to step back and go, what else is going on? So that we can actually start to do some really good work, especially when it comes to the lower back. I see it over and over and over again. Now, you might not fall into this category. Okay? You might be one of those people, and that's okay. I don't mean that in a bad way. But a lot of back pain has nothing to do with the back. It's the hamstrings, it's the SI joint, it's sciatica, it's the hip flexor, it's the psoas, it's tight calves because you're sitting all the time. It's plantar fasciitis because it's all connected. It's even forward head issues, hunching forward. There's so many different things that can cause lower back pain in specific, or just back pain in general, that really has nothing to do with just the back per se. Okay, so my point here is, let's step back and get a bird's eye view. Let's get a bigger picture. I think that's a lot in life sometimes. If you're in a situation and someone does something to you and you think, oh, that person is awful. If I eliminate them from my life will be so much better. Only to find out you eliminate that person from your life and you're still not happier. That we have to see the bigger picture, not just that one thing, like when our shoulder screams and we rehab only our shoulder. Okay, so how do I fix this? How do I get better? How do I move beyond this? How do I stop waking up with back pain every single day? And maybe this isn't back pain for you. Maybe it's shoulder pain, hip pain, whatever. But today we're talking about back pain. How do I get forward from here? How do I move forward from here? Now, I by no means am a doctor. I am not a physical therapist. I am not your guru. I'm not your MD. I am just a person talking on the radio here, talking on YouTube, talking on Facebook, talking to anyone that will listen to me, that has had a lot of experience, that has studied the body a lot and applied what I've been studying to dozens and hundreds and thousands of people. Okay, that is my experience. Okay, so please do not just take my word for it. Please go out and talk to your doctor, go to a physical therapist, research whatever you need to do, but maybe this is going to spur a thought in your head to help you start feeling better. Okay, so what can I do? First things first, you got to start looking at your posture. Okay, you have to start looking at how it is you're sitting during the day. If you can't not sit as a truck driver, how else do you drive your truck? Okay, I acknowledge that. I understand that. If you are at a computer and you're working, invest in a standing desk. I've seen them as cheap as $150, as expensive as $400 or $500. Now, if you're like, Hope, I don't have the money for that, ask yourself, how much you spending on medication because your back hurts? How many times do you keep buying new shoes? How many different chairs have you bought? How many times do you see the chiropractor, the massage therapist, a physical therapist, whatever it is? That all costs money. So if a small little investment gets you up and makes you more mobile, that could be the difference in feeling like you can move in life, your gap, bridging the gap, and constantly having pain. So I'm going to call you out right now. I'm going to call everybody out listening to this, okay? Listen up. This is something I did to myself, and I love you all, and so I am doing it to you. You have to stop right now being a victim to your circumstances. You have to stop being a victim to your circumstances. What do I mean by that? I mean that you have to start doing something different. Complaining does nothing, doesn't do anything any good. Energetically and emotionally and mentally, people that have a more negative attitude, people that stress about finances, People that worry a lot tend to have more back pain. So there's a connection here, you guys. There's a connection here. So today is day one. It's the first day. It's a new start to you making some changes. And I'm not saying that you have to make big changes. I'm not saying that you have to go out and change your job, buy a new vehicle, invest thousands of dollars of new equipment or whatever. All I'm saying is today, do something different than what you did yesterday so that you can get something different than what you have right now. In particular, back pain, pain in general, okay? So what can I do differently? Talk about posture. Sit up straight. Our body is genius. It is put together in a perfect stacking position, okay? Obviously, we're all different. Our organs are all different, slightly different shapes and sizes. Our bones are all slightly different lengths. We all have had different experiences. Some of us have artificial parts. Some of us don't have certain parts, whatever it is. But our body is put together in a particular stacking way. So when we start to mess with the Jenga of our body, our Jenga is not going to be as sturdy and stable. Our Jenga may crash. Our Jenga might not be as happy as what it once was when it was perfectly stacked. Okay? Like I said, the body's not rocket science. This is not rocket science, you guys. But we have to start thinking differently. We have to get out of our head. We have to get out of our own way. When I threw my back out a few months after I had my son, Ivan, I was like, whoa, like I just threw my back out. Like, how is this possible? Well, I was feeding him every hour and a half, so it was absolutely insane. And I was sitting a lot, hunched over. And he was an extremely large kid. He was just big, like a football player big. And so I had to start doing things differently. I had to start doing things differently. I had to get up as much as I could in between those feedings. And I had to start moving more and twisting and squatting and reaching. And even when I was nursing him, I started changing my posture and position as much as I could. Okay, I was limited, but I wasn't 100% limited. So look at your circumstances right now. If you're a truck driver and you're sitting and you're driving for the long haul, you're over the road or you're short distance or whatever, or you work in corporate or you work for yourself or you're a stay-at-home mom nursing kids like I once was, whatever it is, start looking at your situation and go, how can I change it? What small thing can I do? Can I just learn better posture? If you're looking for information on better posture, check me out on YouTube, Hope Savara. And I also have a posture video on my website, hopesavara.com, that you can watch, and it will literally walk you through every little piece, bit by bit, on how your body should be stacked. Feet, knees, hips, shoulders, neck, everything, okay? And so you can start making some small changes. Look at your feet for starters. If you're going forward, they should be pointing forward, okay? Not in two different directions, not with one further forward than the other. It's like mountain pose, Tadasana in yoga. And even in yoga, I feel like students and teachers sometimes skip this because it feels boring. Well, if your mountain pose, your Tadasana, your neutral blueprint is whack, then everything else you're going to do is going to be whack, okay? So even on the yoga mat, we have to pay attention to this stuff. And off the yoga mat, we definitely have to pay attention to this stuff, okay? So posture is the first thing. Second thing is simple little easy movements like pelvic tilting, okay? So if you've never pelvic tilted before, you can do this laying down, sitting, even standing. But if you're sitting, just sit tall, feet flat on the floor. And as you inhale, try arcing your lower back away from the seat behind you. It's kind of like you're spilling your belly. And then as you exhale, C-curve your spine, turn your tailbone up, kind of round out your back and pull your belly in, okay? And then do that a couple of times. Really try to spread your sit bones apart when you arc your back. That should feel really, really good. It might feel stiff at first, but that's gonna help you feel a lot better with lower back stiffness, hip flexor pain, SI joint issues, sciatica issues. Those are gonna make you feel a hell of a lot better, you guys, a hell of a lot better, okay? So we have posture, we have pelvic tilts, okay? Another thing is thinking about twisting. All right, if you're in the rig, or even if you're in your office, it's the same thing. It's a seat, it's a chair. Grab the side of your chair, grab the side of your seat, and slowly start to rotate your spine. But here's the thing I want you to pay attention if you're doing this, okay? Try to notice where you're more mobile, and also notice where you don't move well, okay? Most people will rotate and go, oh, wow, yeah, and then they'll kind of over rotate in the areas that they're already mobile. Well, remember, the body's really smart and really intelligent. So if we have an area that's locked up, our brain will go, this is locked up. And the area surrounding it will be like, I got this. And it will become overly mobile, hypermobile. We see this a lot with people with fusions, okay? So the back is fused, it's not gonna move, so then they become unstable above or below. And now they have more back issues, okay? So notice where you don't move, and aside from having a fusion, okay, try to pay attention to move more in the areas that don't move well. Now, it might not be as pleasing for the ego, but you're gonna get a lot more out of it. And use your breath. Just nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, melt into the twist. And then inhale, inflate. The inhale is a good way to notice the restrictions because the breath won't go there easy. And then exhale, melt into the twist. Try 5 breaths each direction. And then maybe go back to that tighter side an additional time if you have time. So for my truck drivers, this would be awesome stuff for you guys to do while you're waiting to unload, or while you're waiting for your load, or while you're waiting to fuel up, or whatever it is that you're doing, talking on the phone on your lunch break. I don't care. Just move more. If you're in the office or at home, these are easy things to do. I had to start to change my way of thinking and create new habits when I talk on the phone. Now I'm walking around. Now I'm doing pelvic tilting. Now I'm doing different things because I'm just talking, okay? So you have to start looking at your situation differently, okay? So we have posture, we have pelvic tilts, we have twists. Another one is to think about is figure 4 stretch. So that's you sitting, okay? And then attempting to cross one ankle over the knee. Now, if you can't get your leg up there, just let the knee drop open and slowly start to hinge forward. If you can get your ankle up on your knee, flex that foot, sitting really tall, try to hinge from your hips, not fold at the belly and the waist, okay? You're gonna get to open up that tight piriformis in the glute area, that butt pain area. You're gonna start pulling that open, and you're gonna give yourself some instant relief. It's like the floodgates opening into the lower back. It's gonna feel really, really good, okay? So that's another thing that you can be doing. These are easy, simple solutions, you guys, okay? So don't overthink them. This is not rocket science. Another thing that you can do if you're not familiar with it is get a back shield. So Back Shield is an amazing company that invented this super lightweight support that you can put on the seat of your rig, your truck, your car. I just went for a 4.5-hour car ride over this last weekend with my family. That thing saved me, okay? You can also put it on your office chair if you don't have a, what is it called here? The Move. Here, I got it right here, okay? That's what I'm sitting on. If you don't have a Move, get a Back Shield. And if you go to backshield.com, they're going to give you free shipping. If you use the code DDH15, they're going to give you 15% off. What a steal. Don't love it? Send it back, okay? But we need to bridge the gap. We somehow need to bridge the gap between doing nothing and doing something. So that means we need to do more when we're doing nothing, so that we're doing something all the time, okay? I'm pretty sure that our ancestors didn't have back pain, and if they did, it was because they were pushing a plow with a mule, okay? They were doing a lot of movement, okay? And now we're not doing hardly any movement. We need to find a balance, you guys. We need to find a happy medium where we can move and breathe and feel better all the time. You deserve that. I deserve that. We all deserve that. But you have to start making a conscious effort. So this is when I tell you what you don't want to hear. You have to start being accountable for your own actions, your own life, and your own circumstances. If you are not feeling good in your body, if you don't like where you are, you have to take the first step to change. Your back is telling you. You literally have a pain in your back because you're not moving enough. Maybe you're stressing beyond belief about something that's going on in your life, finances, circumstances, relationships, whatever it is, it all can manifest in that lower back area energetically. So you don't believe me? I've seen it time and time and time again. People make big shifts in their life and their pain in their body goes away. It's all connected, you guys. It's all connected. Okay? So what is it that you can do to start feeling better? How is it that you can adapt some change? Is it signing up for Mother Trucker Yoga and starting to do these 3 to 5 minute videos? Is it hopping over to hopesavara.com and joining my online studio? Doing yoga anytime, anywhere, movements. It's awesome. I love it. I do my own yoga studio. I do my own online studio. It's great. Is it buying a back shield? Backshield.com, DDH15, get that 15% off and free shipping. What is it? Is it improving your posture? Is it doing pelvic tilts? I don't care how small it is. Do not let your mind tell you that a small little change will do nothing. Because the reality is, you're doing nothing right now and it's doing nothing. Or maybe you're doing something, but it's not enough. That was my reality. I was still doing things, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So my back was hurting. I was having hip problems. I was doing some stuff, but I wasn't doing enough. So I got back out my foam roller. I got back out my AccuBalls. I got back out my yoga mat. I started walking again every day. Holy cow, what a difference it made. And I'm not going 20 miles, you guys. I'm walking like a mile or 2 miles. I'm getting out my foam roller for 5 minutes. I'm doing a little bit of stretching here and there throughout the day, okay? I'm not getting on my yoga mat for 2 hours, okay? I'm not gonna lead you to believe that that is the cure to your back pain because I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. But I do believe you need to drink more water. I do believe that you need to improve your posture. I do believe that you need to move more. I don't care how you move. I don't care if in your head after listening to this broadcast, you're like, Hope, I got my own thing going on. I do a little of this and then that, and then I do Tai Chi, and then I garden, and then I go for a walk, and then I like wrestle with my kids, or I climb a tree, or whatever it is. I don't care. But I want you to know that you are in full control of your life, whether you believe you are or not. It's just a matter of if you want to make the changes that you are afraid to make. Okay? So maybe you have to speak up to your boss and be like, hey man, like, do you think it's possible to offer us gym memberships? If you're a trucker, maybe you're like, hey, I need to ask my boss to invest in Mother Trucker Yoga so that all of the drivers can get access to movement, to guided movement. Maybe you're going to buy different shoes so that you're not at such a high pitch, so your hip flexors don't get so tight all the time. Maybe you're going to jump on a trampoline. Whatever it is, I don't care. But I want you guys to know today, after listening to this broadcast, that you have the opportunity right now to make a change in your life. That opportunity starts now. It doesn't start tomorrow. It doesn't start a week from now. It doesn't start after your sister's wedding because you want to wear 5-inch heels or whatever it is. I know you guys are probably like, Hope, like, dude, I'm a dude. I don't wear 5-inch heels. But my point is that you have to start today. Make an effort to start today. So right now, what are you going to do? If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, drop it in the comment section. What are you going to do? What is your promise to yourself? Promise to me. If it helps you and you promise me, if that helps you, awesome. What is your promise? You're going to work on posture. Look at my posture video, okay? I have so many free resources, you guys, it's ridiculous. You're going to start yoga. You're going to start Mother Trucker Yoga. You're going to buy Back Shield. Remember the code, DDH15, okay? You're going to buy Back Shield. You're going to do pelvic tilting. You're going to twist. You're going to do that figure 4 stretch. You're going to get your shoes off more. That also helps back pain. You have so many tips, I forget about them all. That's also going to help back pain. Whatever it is, make the decision today to change something. Maybe it's your attitude. Maybe you're your own pain in your ass. Excuse my language. Maybe you're your own pain in your back. So lighten up, chill out, breathe, drink more water. Okay? So that's the deal, you guys. That's the deal. I want you to know that you can feel better wherever. That there's always an opportunity for you to better yourself. And back pain, I believe, back pain does not have to be a life sentence. It should not be. And if it is, you know you need to do something different today. You know that you need to do more today, okay? Reasons why you can't are really shitty complaints. That's all they are. You're just complaining, okay? I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out because I call myself out every single day when I'm like, well, but I'm so busy, or my kids need to go here, or I got to do this. It's like, nope, complaint, complaint, complaint. Excuse, 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 okay? It's an excuse. I'm complaining about an excuse because I don't want to change, okay? So I want you to know I hear you, I understand, but make that decision today to add one thing to your life to improve the quality of your life so that you can feel better and you can keep trucking no matter what life throws your way. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Until next time, this is Hope Savara with your Daily Dose of Hope. I'll see you soon.
And you've been listening to A Daily Dose of Hope with Hope Savara. Thanks for tuning in.